Hello and welcome to Build Authority with Ease and Enjoyment. First part here, we want to talk about why to build your authority, and then we're going to talk about how to build your authority. Obviously, there is a play on words happening here. I'm a big word nerd. So let's talk about that word authority for a minute. What is the root of both author and authority? Well, it's auctor, which means a powerful leader and speaker. So first, what we want to do is just clarify what kind of authority you actually want to be. What kind of a leader do you want to be in the world, and why? The truth is, if you are the best at anything, I don't care if you are the best bubble blower or dog walker in the world or forensic psychologist, it doesn't matter. If you are the best at the specific thing that you do, you will always be in demand. So the challenge is deciding where to focus your energy and therefore build your authority as the go-to person in that specific area. So first, we just want to ask ourselves some questions. Who do I want to be? What do I want to be seen as by the people around me? What title or honorific would you just absolutely love to be known by? What do you want to be known for? What is that legacy that you want to leave behind that people remember you by? In what specific area would you like to be that go-to expert in your field? When people think of that thing, they automatically think of you. So yes, there are a lot of experts out there. So you're going to need to get pretty specific. What is your special sauce? The thing that nobody else does quite like you, the thing that you add to this field that nobody else has added exactly the way that you can. So I'd like you to grab your journal, and we're going to do a 6-minute free write with the prompt, I am known as, or I am known for, whichever resonates more with you. So I'll go ahead and set the timer, and we'll write for 6 minutes. got about a minute left. All right, you can come on back. Take what you just learned about yourself and what you want to be known as and for in the world. And we're going to do a little visualization. So if you can just get comfy as you possibly can be, relax your whole body, breathe in some colored light. Ooh, that was kind of sparkly silvery for me. One more time. It was kind of like a sparkly pastel rainbow, like that gum. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a rainbow. Anyway. All right. So I would love for you to keep your eyes closed if that feels good for you, or just keep a soft focus and just listen to my words and see what comes up for you. Yeah, fruit strips gum. Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. Yes, fruit stripes. It was special stuff. All right. Here we go. So you are backstage. You are getting ready to go out in front of a standing room only crowd, and they are all here to see you. They want to hear you share your core message because it's really resonated with them. They want to hear the tools that you have to share because you've really helped them to solve their core problem with your core solution, and they trust you and they like you. They are waiting for your wisdom. And I want you to listen to the words that the announcer is saying about you. How are you being introduced? Just listen for a moment. And I want you to walk on stage and feel the warmth of those stage lights on your face and hear the roar of that crowd as you walk out. You see them jump to their feet as they give you a standing ovation before you even had a chance to say anything, and their faces are lit up with hope and with gratitude. Let yourself lean into the joy of just being seen and appreciated for your authentic gifts for a moment. Let your natural energy radiate out from you and out into the audience, and see it touching everyone in the audience. See them getting that energy, almost like it's a contagion, but in a great way, and spreading it out into the crowd, this warm, wonderful energy that you're sending out. And as you begin to speak, I want you to notice someone in the crowd. They are hanging on your every word. And you can tell that she needs this. I'm just going to go ahead and say it's a she. She needs this, okay? And what a profound effect that every word of yours is having on her. You can see it. It's written all over her face. Now, afterward, I want you to go and find her. Go and find her out in the crowd and have a moment with her. Give her a big hug if she's open to that. And just hear what it is that she has to say to you. Whew. Okay. Now I would love for you to grab your journal and write down everything you remember. The sights, the sounds, the words, how were you introduced? How did it make you feel? What did that person in the crowd say to you afterwards? I'm going to give you another 6 minutes to just write down everything that you've Oh, one more minute. All right. So now I'm going to do a little exercise with you. If you have never done an exercise to find your top 5 or core values, I have an exercise to do that. We're not going to go through that today because it takes a little more time than I want to spend. So we're going to do a really simplified version of that. So basically what I want you to do is just write down your top values, the things that are the most important to you. And this isn't necessarily like a specific thing. It's more a concept, a feeling that is really, really important to you and that you want to prioritize in your life. This may be something that you want to feel more of, you want to help others feel more of, you want to experience more of. So just write those down. And then you're going to basically just put a little check mark next to what you think are your top 5. Like I said, normally this takes a lot longer and we go through a several step process. But I just want you to kind of come up with a short list of your values right now. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes just to do that. All right, when you're done, if you can just post those in the chat, put your 5 words that you came up with for your values, just so I can kind of see what we're working with here. I appreciate that. Now, the next step, once we have those values, is to think about who shares these values? Who also values what I value and prioritizes these things in their life? Beautiful. I see some common things coming up here. Love, connection, empowerment. So beautiful. Creativity, expression, hospitality, collaboration, joy. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So what I want you to do is to think about, where would you find these people who value what you value? Where do those people tend to congregate? This is your ideal audience, the people who value what you value and who are willing to prioritize these things. Some people think they value these things, but they don't necessarily put that into practice. Those are not your people. Your people are the people who are actively putting energy into living out these values. Now, I want you to think for a moment, what is my core message to those people? So the people who value what you value, what do you want them to know or understand above all else? Your core message. And again, if you can just put that into the chat so that I can see it, that would be wonderful. I'm going to put mine in there as well. So my core message to my ideal audience is, you are a powerful creator. You are a powerful creator. Simple, to the point. If you can't come up with your core message right now, that's totally okay. Just be thinking about that. Next, we want to ask ourselves, what is the core problem that I am solving? What is the problem that my people are suffering from? And it's making it difficult for them to put into action that core message. There's a primary obstacle that they are facing that is between them and what they really want to be feeling, experiencing, and living. So we want to define as clearly as possible for ourselves, what is this problem that I solve? So for me, that's just creative blockage. People who feel blocked off from or unable to put into action that creative power that we were just talking about, the creative flow. Their flow is blocked. Whether that's an internal block or an external block, they're experiencing some kind of creative blockage. And that leads to burnout. And so burnout is usually the thing that people identify first as what they're suffering from, even though that's just a symptom. But you would want to write down both of those things. So the core problem, and maybe if it has a main symptom. Go ahead and write that down. Give you a moment. And finally, what is your core solution? What is the main tool, idea, product, service that you offer that helps them to solve this problem, overcome this obstacle, and embody and put into practice that core message? What is your core solution? Thanks for being here. All right. Let's just take a moment. Think about, what is your core solution? Really define it. So for me, my core solution is the doer system. That dreaming, organizing, executing, revising, 4-part, which I break into 8/8 cycle. Getting in touch with that natural cycle within you is the main service that I offer. I have a lot of other services that kind of branch off of and support that main service, but that is the main solution that I offer to this problem of creative burnout and creative blockage. Now I'd like to move on to close the chat here. Part 2. So this is how to build authority. You want to be a beacon for what you are seeking. So live your values loud and proud so that others who value those things can easily find you. It's like you're sending up this flare saying, this is what I value. And then everyone who values that sees it and goes, ooh, I value that too. That's interesting and that's important to me. So that's going to draw them to you. Because of course, we don't want to spend all our time and energy out there chasing our ideal audience. We want them to come to us. So look back at your list of core values and find what is first on that list. The first thing that you wrote down on that list. And I want you to celebrate one activity that you are already doing consistently that directly supports this value. So for me, I had creativity as number 1 on my list. And so I do all kinds of things to support that and to really live that out loud. But the main thing that I do is my Creative Flow co-working club. I hold that space and I show up there twice a week. And that really helps me to prioritize in my life and live out that value of creativity. So I celebrate that. Then iterate. So what's one activity that I'm not doing consistently, but that does support that value? So for me, I would say that's just journaling. I know that it's great for me. I know I get wonderful ideas every time I do sit down to journal, and I don't always do it consistently. And so that's something that I can really be better about, is just making sure I'm setting aside time just to do, like, to follow my own prompts, to take my own medicine and do these free writes, because the free writes always bring something amazing for me. And finally, integrate. How could you make it even easier and more enjoyable to start doing that activity more consistently and to keep doing what you're already doing, but with even more ease and enjoyment? How can you make it easier? How can you make it more fun? So I'm thinking right now, I really love to, like, I do my best journaling when I'm doing it in a group. And of course, we have the writer's circle. So maybe this is just a matter of me, whenever I'm hosting the writer's circle, making sure I'm taking the time to do that free write along with the people that I'm hosting it for, and really be a part of that. That feels really good to me. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing. But on your own time, I want you to repeat this exercise for every value you have on that list. Go through and make sure you've done a celebrate, iterate, and integrate for each one of those values. So to make sure that you're really just living those values out loud and proud. Now, the next thing is to show up and shine as the star you already are. Just accept you are an authority in this subject. You don't need a fancy Ph.D. or anything else to tell you that you are an authority in your area of expertise. Just know it and own it and step into that space. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, step into that space of authority. You know your stuff. You are the best at this thing. This is your special sauce and nobody else has it. And so really fully embrace and trust that your authentic energy, just as it is incredibly valuable. All you have to do is just show up with that authentic energy and your authentic experience, and just allow your natural brilliance to radiate out in the world. Share your authentic voice, share your true stories, and this is what gives you authority in the world. Be unapologetically enthusiastic. Stop trying to be cool. Don't be one of the cool kids. Be a big nerd. Start nerding out, geeking out. Share what lights you up with the world. Get excited about it. Now, show up consistently, whether you're feeling enthusiastic or not. No matter where you're at, physically or emotionally, Just keep showing up consistently. Physically, wherever you happen to be. I am kind of infamous for doing my little reels when I'm in the car or when I'm in a bathrobe, in my bathroom or in my bedroom, in your kitchen, doesn't matter, wherever you happen to be, out on a walk. If you just get an idea and you want to share that, you think this is an idea that would really resonate with my audience, just share it. Share it right away. Even when you don't feel like sharing physically, when emotionally, when you are low energy, when you are feeling down, when you are feeling sad, when you are in that darker place, share that. That is when you are at your most relatable, and that is the space that other people need the most help with. And so if they see that you experience that same thing, they will trust you and they will come with you up and out of that space when you move through it and out of it, which of course you inevitably will. Moods pass, emotions pass, okay? But when you show up consistently, people will see that range of your energy and your emotions, and they will see that you are not just sitting around and feeling sorry for yourself, you are trying to help them. And that will inspire them to reach out to help others. And that is what pulls us through those dark times. Now, whenever you're going to speak to your audience, you want to set an energetic intention, something that you want to feel and radiate out and let them feel as well. So you are the one who always sets the climate control for every interaction, and you need to set it in advance. Don't just show up and see what happens, because then what'll happen is you'll soak up whatever energy happens to be in the room already. You set it. You decide in advance what it's going to be. And it's great to have rituals that help you to do this. I've got a few of them. One of my favorite is the Superwoman pose. Da, 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 da. Before I speak to an audience, I often do that Superwoman pose. I sing my power song. Yes, I have a power song. I highly recommend getting a power song. Go to powersongs.ca. Brilliant. I have affirmations. I breathe in my colored light. And I also have what I call a manifestation movie, which is just a series of images that I put together in a slideshow and added some music that I find really inspiring. And every time I watch it, it just lifts my spirits, lifts my energy, and puts me into the perfect headspace to spread this energy of processivity, loving your process, embracing your process, enjoying your creative process. So I would love to hear what your rituals are. Please, in the comments here, share what are the rituals that work best for you for being in the right energetic frame and interacting with your ideal audience. I'd love to hear about that. So you notice what I just did there? I asked you to engage with me. So don't just talk at your audience. Ask them questions. Invite them to share their own stories, their own ideas, their own experiences. The more you can help your audience feel heard and seen and understood, the more they will show up, the more they will want to learn about you, and the more you will learn about them. So you will learn what they want. You will learn what they fear. You will learn what they are struggling with. And you will learn what they are trying to accomplish and what is in their way. And that is where you can come in. You can help them find a solution to that core problem. So I want you to ask yourself right now, what are your obstacles? What gets in your way? What stands in your way when you want to show up as an expert, when you want to step into your authority and be that go-to expert in your field? What stands in your way? I want you to take a moment and really think about that and then share it. Because once we name that thing, it can be a lot easier to overcome it because we've defined it now and we know what we need to do to get through that, to get past that. So I'd love to hear what stands in your way. Please share that with me. But we're going to keep rolling right now because I have some hot tips here for simplifying your content creation plan. Now, everyone should have a simple plan for content creation, for showing up consistently and creating resonant content for your audience. Again, you are the beacon for what you're seeking. So the content that you put out is what is going to attract magnetically your ideal audience. Your message is your magnet. So creating and releasing content consistently does not have to be a chore. It can actually be really easy and fun. It can be as easy and fun as having a conversation with someone that you really love talking to about a topic that you're super passionate about. It can be that easy and that enjoyable. The key is to create content that is easy and fun for you to make, is genuinely helpful for your audience, can be used on multiple platforms, and on a schedule that is easy for you to commit to and show up for consistently. In order to do this, I highly recommend you get really comfy cozy with making videos. Video is fast, it's easy, algorithms absolutely love it, and it can easily be made into other forms of content. Strip out the audio, now it's a podcast. Transcribe the audio, now it's a blog post. Pull still shots, short clips and quotes, now it's a whole series of posts for your social media. Top tips for video content creation. Make it spontaneous. Speak from the heart. Don't over-prepare and over-rehearse. Just pick a topic and start talking. Second, keep it short. I cannot overemphasize this. Keep it short. 10 minutes, absolute max for a YouTube video. 2 minutes max for a TikTok video or an Instagram post. Personally, I like to limit myself to 30 seconds. 30 seconds max. And the reason I do that is actually threefold. First, it qualifies it as a reel, and so it gets more exposure that way. People have a short attention span, and so they're more likely to actually watch the whole thing if it's just 30 seconds long. Second, it forces me to boil down the essence of what I'm trying to say to a 30-second soundbite. Like, what is the most important thing? Here it is. Bam, I know ain't nobody got time to search for it. Here it is for you. And yeah, it usually takes me a couple of tries before I can boil it down to that 30 seconds. But then once I do, it's like, bam, there's a 30-second thought for you. I tend to be very verbose, as you can see. And so this is a really good disciplinary exercise for me, 30-second reels. Finally, I can crank out 3 of those puppies and no probo on a Monday morning. And then I've got content for the entire week covered in under 10 minutes. Under 10 minutes, and I'm done. Now, I can, again, use that for all kinds of other things, but I could just put those up and I have put myself out there for the week. Finally, keep it resonant. Make sure that this is really something that your audience is struggling with, not just something that you find interesting, okay? Really offer genuine empathy and help for what they are struggling with. Pay attention to what is going on in the world around you. Make it topical. Make it useful to them in this moment, right now. So think about what is one obstacle that your audience is likely to face this week, and come up with one core message and 3 simple tools to help them overcome that obstacle. Now, personal, because I do this doer cycle, I follow the moon. So, for example, tomorrow is actually a full moon. It is the full moon of ancestral power. Ooh. And so when we are in a full moon, this is the time to be creating, to be putting stuff out there, to rip off the Band-Aid and try something new. And so I go with that doer pattern in my content. This week, I'm actually talking about time management because it's also the beginning of a year, beginning of a month. And so this is a time when people are really thinking about the way that they do things. And so this is my kind of melding of those two. You want to pick, so make it routine. Okay. Set aside time to brainstorm that message and those 3 tools right at the top of the week. So you can do it on Sunday or Monday or on Friday, if that works best for you. Just a time that you know you will have the time to devote to that. It shouldn't take very long, all right? It usually takes me 15 minutes to half an hour. And then set aside time, it could be in the same time period or a separate time period, just to go ahead and shoot those videos. Now you can shoot them all in a row, or you can just shoot the first one, which is kind of an introduction to, hey, this is what we're going to be talking about this week. So you're going to do 4 videos total. The first video is, again, just that high level idea of like, here's my core message for this week. And then you're going to introduce that you're going to have 3 videos this week that will follow up on that with 3 tools to help you put that idea into action. And then you'll have those 3 videos. You can, again, get them all out of the way and record them all in a row because they're just 30 seconds, or you can record them the day of, wherever you happen to be, however you happen to be feeling, whatever you happen to be wearing, whichever works best for you. And then you just dole them out. I like to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday for those 3, and I'll have the intro video usually on a Sunday. Sometimes I do it a little bit differently. Sometimes I have the intro video on Monday, and then I do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever I'm feeling. Okay, it doesn't have to be exact. It just needs to be consistent in the sense that if your audience is showing up for this, they know that it's going to keep happening. It's not going to be like, you did this really cool thing and then you don't do it again for 3 months. Pick your platforms. Really focus your energy. Do not spread yourself super thin and try to do everything everywhere. Okay, pick the platforms where your people spend time. Figure out, again, who are your people? Who's your audience? And where do those people congregate? If you work with entrepreneurs, LinkedIn is probably going to be your space. If you work with stay-at-home moms, parents, older generation, you're probably going to find them on Facebook. If you work with people who are very visual, creative types, Instagram's probably going to be your thing. If you're working with the younger crowd, TikTok is totally your place. I do all of those things because I have slightly different, I wear a lot of hats. Let's just put it that way. But those are the 4 that I have chosen. Now, there's a lot of other platforms out there. Be selective. Pick the ones that really work well for you. Now, I have also been doing YouTube videos of late. I did this 10-part perma-creativity series, and that inspired me to write a new book, which is called Raising Innovators, A Parent's Guide to Creative Flow. That brings me to my final tip, which is experiment. Try new things. As soon as you try something new and get something fresh, that's what keeps your creative flow flowing. That's what brings new ideas to you, new collaborators to you. Just keep throwing new stuff in the mix, but do one thing at a time, okay? Don't throw everything in the kitchen sink in there all at once. Just tweak one thing at a time and see what that does. Notice how that interacts. So just observe. Interact, observe. Interact, observe. That's the first permaculture principle. This will keep it fresh for you, as well as for your audience, keep it more fun for you, and also bring you new ideas and innovations. Thank you so much for joining me. If you found this helpful in any way, there's a lot more where this came from. I would love to work with you. Please come and check out my website. I have specific authority packages designed especially for entrepreneurs like you who are trying to become the go-to expert in their field. You can find that at audreymack.com/release-your-masterpiece. Thank you so much for joining me.